a piece of land that belonged to Mr. Dick Hinson. And there's several Hinsons. Is he the second or the first? Or
I believe he is the second, but I'm not real sure about that.
Anyway, this has been a family place for many years that some people knew about and the Hinson family obviously enjoyed. And Dick Hinson had a vision, as he's had many. He's one of the few that's canoed the river all the way from Highway 2 down to the confluence of the Apalachicola. But he knew he had a special place, and he loved Marianna. And his vision was, I think, we're down the road on that vision, that it would be a public place, that it would be well managed. The name of the place is actually, he helped pick it out. He wanted to make sure it's the Hinson Conservation and Recreation Area, part of the Chipola Greenway, Chipola River Greenway. And that's what he wants it to be, a recreation area, but in conservation. And then the state of Florida, he sold it to the state of Florida. So this is owned by the people of the state of Florida, and it's leased to the city of Marianna. I believe it's a 50 or 100-year lease. And for the last several years, I don't remember the date of the acquisition, but there was a big urge to get it open, and there have been a lot of complaints about it not being open. But the key to having public lands is managed public lands. If you just open it up, you'll have what Dick calls the 2%ers running the show. So there's been a good effort to do a management plan that the state requires. And then we actually have a guidelines and policy manual now in the works that helps with some of the details about what's recreation. Some of the specific plans, like the new trail system through here that's has been planned, designed, and is now funded to be constructed by the city of Marianna. So there's a lot more to do. This is we're more than the first step in the vision. We're quite a ways down the trail, but there's a lot of other things that are in that management plan. The trail will be built this winter and in the spring. And Mark's been a big part of this. I think he mainly pulled our field day today together. So Mark, tell us about your experience.
Many people my age, growing up in Marianna, everybody knows about the ovens, and everybody knows about the cave system that's here. I've enjoyed this place. I can remember as a young kid in Boy Scouts, we would frequently come out here and enjoy the pecan orchard. I thought at the time it was made for us to play in. We had a nice time here. I enjoy it now today, especially because I have a different kind of appreciation for the flowers and for that bluff trail. It's just outstanding views and a wonderful place to be. I just don't see how you can do any better than this, and to think that we all have public access to this. It's just it's a privilege to come to a place like this. Alamo Cave, how could a kid and an adult, a kid at any age, how's that, not appreciate and just be mesmerized by Alamo Cave?
I was.
Wonderful, wonderful place. I've been here in the springtime, and it's unbelievable the amount of different kinds of wildflowers that grow along that trail. You have to have the right kind of people with you to get the real appreciation for this place. The people that have been working at surveying for the archaeology values of this land, surveying for the different plants that are here, have been just a tremendous help to identify those resources. And the key to protecting them is to first of all know what's there. And there's been an awful lot of people that have been involved. It's been a privilege to watch the Florida Trail people. They have contributed a lot of volunteer time helping lay out the trail, and they've driven many, many miles from Panama City to make this trip here, and we couldn't have done it without them, really. We've had birding field trips here, and all kinds of things that we've seen. People look for the opportunity to come to this place and enjoy those resources. And it's something now that's going to grow and grow. Like Chad was talking about, 20 and 30 years from now, it's going to be even bigger and better and link up with more and more public land along the river. I guess the number one thing is to start with Alamo Cave, and to walk the Bluff Trail. And at the end of the Bluff Trail there is a little cabin, and beyond the cabin is a series of sinkholes that you've got to see to believe. They're massive. The single most important feature to me is the river, and especially to see it today. I understand that somebody has been keeping records of the water level in the Chipola River for 77 years, and it has not ever been any lower than it is right now.
It's worth telling some folks that this is an actual put-in or take-out place for kayaks and canoes. If you want an hour and a half, 2-hour canoe trip, you can put up at Yancey Bridge on the way to the Floridan Caverns. And the beauty of this place is that this is part of the management plan that was done. It's restricted to unmotorized vessels, kayaks and canoes. You can have things like this turn out a lot differently than it has. And that is, I think this one day, if it's not already, is a destination for kayakers and canoers. You can keep going, of course, on down to Magnolia Bridge and beyond that. But I think Mark mentioned another thing, is this is a gem and a necklace of precious stones that include the Florida Cavern State Park. It includes the Upper Chipola River Water Management Area, which is owned by the Water Management District north of the caverns all the way to the Alabama line. There are other greenways and trails parcels here of land that are on both sides of the river. On the other side, managed by the county. Jackson County Parks and Recycling manages those parcels. City of Marianna manages these. The one I think may end up being, from a public access place, as valuable as this is the Butler Place. Most people don't know, but at the foot of Kelson Avenue in Nolan, if you look to your left before you turn south on Nolan, that is part of the Chipola Greenways and Trail system. I consider the new farmers market and that park a part of this trail system, bike path system. And then, of course, the Water Management District just bought a famous place called Look and Tremble and Johnny Boy's Landing, which is a kind of a part of this whole idea of destination ecotourism. So this is a special place in its own right, but it's a part of a lot of other special places put together. And I hear people complain about government all the time, but this is an example of what government can do. And the city of Marianna is distinguishing itself and learning how to do this properly. They've showed a lot of restraint, and I think they've done well for a city that had never managed natural lands before.
I agree with that. I think the city has done extremely well. And I think it's important to say too that there's an awful lot of work that needs to be done, and volunteers are needed to can be useful in getting a lot of that done. And we also need financial help to make things come about.